Okay, so it's 4:17 on Saturday the 26th. I've been up since like 12:30. So as soon as I was laying there and I kept trying to go back to sleep and trying to go back to sleep. And then it just kept being late, getting longer and longer and longer. I'd look at my phone, and then I started looking on my phone, and then I decided, well, I'm just gonna take a nap. I'm just forget about it because I can't get back to sleep. But I feel tired, like my eyes hurt, but I can't sleep. In this moon situation, it's super super bright, and I at first I thought it was just barely over a half, but I'd say it's like a three quarters of a moon, but super bright, and and this is supposed to be like an eclipse time or something. I don't even know. I mean, everything's just swirling. And yesterday or last night, even when I went to bed, oh my God, the energy was so intense. It felt like it was like rippling through my body, which I got to be careful over this little situation because they struck me yesterday with copyright. So, and it was on this song, Begging You, which is like, how I'm sharing a video. I'm not sharing I mean, it's odd. And so, because you'd think if the song is in their video, then it was okayed on the sounds of TikTok, but then it comes over here and then they strike me with the copyright. So, I don't know. But I knew that was chancy or iffy because they're look for something. I'm surprised they didn't say some of the other stuff that they said, that the people said. But I tried to go in and edit it, and I don't know how to edit. I took the one part I was trying to take out, left that, and put everything else was gone. So I couldn't fix it. And so they said, well, it's not a strike on your account, but it's not being shown in every territory. And so I don't know. And then I don't know if they took the sound out. Like, I have no idea, man. Because I don't think I see or hear the same thing as what goes out to other people. Honey, just come in here. Why does she wait until I start? She's laying in there snoring. And as soon as I start... Ay, 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 man. And she's really, really sore, too. She's having a hard time getting up. But we went back to the river yesterday. And they go walking around in the mud the day before, too. They go walk around the mud, and then they got stuck. Which Max went down there, too. And he got stuck in the mud. He couldn't get out. And he fell down. And I thought he was having another seizure. I went over and I got him out. And then he went and he didn't want to leave the water because that's all he wants to do is drink. And then so he just moved to another part. And he was just like shaking. So I don't know if it's just from the weakness or if he is having some kind of mini seizure kind of things. I'm not even sure. So, I mean, I doubt he's going to make it like a long while. But I went up to the store to go get more chicken because I'm just feeding him chicken, and then cheese with his meds. And then, so I was going to have to go to Albertsons, which is more expensive of a store. It's like a higher end store at this point. And so I was like, ah, shit, I'm just going to spend the money and buy chicken up there. And then I went in and there was a bunch of packages of the chicken marked down. So I scored on that. But, that's the hand of God. But anyways, there's a few things we'll talk about. For one thing, I guess in the middle of the night, since I was up, I got to see. But we have gone to WAR, WW3, and with Iran. So, and the real is involved too. So I'm not sure how it's all going to be linked together because I haven't been paying that much attention. But we were just warned by whoever, the Secretary of War, whatever, a few days ago, who put up the thing with the EBS, which would be, could you be using as a warning, or is that like we're gonna have that? I don't know, But anyways, they were playing the song War. So we're in it. In the so they're over there, you know, throwing things out of planes and stuff, fell onto the ground over there. But you got to remember what's been going on over there, because the people have gone against the regime, and the which comes down to that strict religious kind of situation, which is run by, you know, the powers that be. And so in the comments I'd seen where the people over there are really excited because now we've stepped in to help take down the regime. But there's a lot of drama going, and you know, who knows. Donald was up in the middle of the night saying, we're going over there, we're not going to allow this, they're trying to, you know, stick with the NUKEs, and we're not going to let them, and they could start striking some places, and they're getting closer to us, so we're not going to allow this. But really, the whole thing is about freeing the people from these regimes that have been controlling all the different places and money and everything in our world. So, which, you know what I was thinking too, is I think it probably has changed throughout different time periods, but how I'm always saying like tribes, like these different tribes of people from different places outside of the ice wall. And I think that they used to call them clans. I don't think that they were called tribes all the time. I think they were called clans, because when I was watching, I just keep seeing things about clans. And so anyways, I was thinking, I think that there was awareness before from other people before they started the education system, that there were different groups from different places, and it wasn't and that the battle has been for power, which this is kind of a strange story, but I'm going to share it because they definitely had some stuff in it that was truthful. So it's one of those spooky, scary story girls, and people email them and tell them their weird stories and stuff. So this one was a girl who, I think it was around 2019 or 2020, she started dating some guy, and the girl is super spiritual, which you gotta watch out. Like, this super spiritual thing is there's a lot of it that's surface level spirituality. It's not really spirituality. It's not really that they're in search of finding themselves there. They're very ego driven. It's very hierarchy. People keep getting screwed over by these people and getting charged all this money. There's a lot of absurdity to it. But I've been saying this for years. You know, you got to watch out who you follow. And use your discernment, because, yeah, just because they say they're spiritual doesn't mean they are. And so they're out ripping people off. And so this girl, she said she was spiritual, and she started dating this guy. And they were having some conversation, and he said he wanted to be honest with her about something. And so she's like, please do. And he said that when he was a kid, a reptilian came and started living inside of him. And he said it also happened with his dad and his sister. And they're all musicians. And so, which some people in the comments were, is it Ren? Ren is cool. But so anyways, but in the story, so she said that she had a different name for the reptilian guy, because she said she could tell totally when that guy would come to the surface, because they were totally different personalities, which people in the comments were like, well, there's split personality and the dual personality, all that stuff. But there was certain things, like she asked Boris, because she called the reptilian Boris, which she said that he kind of had like a Russian accent, very domineering, kind of totally different personality than the other guy. And Boris started pushing more and more to spend time with this girl. So they started kind of battling over who was going to spend time with this girl. And so she said Boris would try and trick her sometimes and act like he was John, but she could tell. And so she would play these little games and stuff with him. But one of the times when she knew it was Boris, she said, well, if you are who you say you are, then tell me something about myself, because then, you have access to other information. And which he said yes, because he's connected to a collective that he just can access information and find out things. So she said he started telling her about her ex-boyfriend, could explain him exactly, even the scar on his face and stuff, which weirded her out. But she kept thinking, okay, well, maybe somehow the other guy knew. But then he went further and started telling her about I don't know if it was an altercation, an argument or something with this boyfriend, and he could like verbatim repeat back what was said in this conversation, what he said, what she said, and stuff like that. I've said for a long time, these other beings they can access. Like we got to learn this stuff. It's not like learn it. It's like we got to remember what we can do, and then start practicing. It's just like we kind of been slobs, and we need to get back to the gym. So, speaking of gym, I'm going to talk about that too, because that's just gone haywire on the internet, on social media, whatever. Even to the point that Blue-Eyed Jim is commenting, because there's Blue-Eyed and Brown-Eyed Jim. So, anyways, so the so all this reptilia fella, so you could tell her things because he could access information into, I'm not sure how he does it. Like when I am looking at stuff, it's just like I'm just looking. It's like I'm just looking. Like it's just like I want access to something, and then I just see it. And so I don't know, what he does. So anyways, he said that she ended up breaking up with him because it freaked her out. And especially after this situation where he knew this stuff, she just started getting freaked out and kind of eerily by, this other being. And so she went and moved her stuff out. She said while he was gone, and just stuff that she was just like, because they'd only been going out like 3 months, so it wasn't like she had moved in with them, but went and got all her stuff while he was at work or something. And then he came back, saw her stuff was gone, and he freaked out. And she said it made her feel sure that she had done the right thing, because he went crazy, over the top crazy. So she blocked him on everything. And he didn't know where she lived. She'd only been over at his house, which the reptilian would be able to access that. So that wouldn't be able to be hidden. So anyways, so she said that the reptilian had told her some things that are supposed to be happening. So he said that all reptilians are not bad, which I've been saying for a long time. And he said there's good ones, there's bad ones. They're also going through this evolution. They've been here since the beginning of time, because a lot of beings have been here for a long time, and they are kind of over us because we stay in ignorance, and so we're lower on the food chain. And so but they've been here for a long, long time. And he said between 2026 and 2030 that it was all going to be exposed to us. So we were going to find out the truth, and we were going to find out that these beings have been living amongst us this whole time. And they live in the ground, they live above the ground, they live all over, they just live with us, and they've been here for a long time, and that they're not all like something we need to fear, or they're not all bad. In the comments, people are like, oh, reptilians are demons and stuff. See, that's ignorance. That's ignorance. So anyways, but that's the stuff that I know, like, okay, well, that's true. The stuff she was saying about him was true. And so, anyways, and then there's other people who are saying, well, that's a government psyop. They were trying to get you to, spread this information, which freaked the girl out who does the story time. But that could be, because they are releasing all sorts of information in all sorts of ways for us to begin to see. And it's not just to see, because it takes a long time for people to see. Just like you have these people, that's demons. It is to keep chipping away at your programming. So it's not just like a abrupt slap in the face, which is coming. There will be an abrupt slap in the face. But so far, it's chip, 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 chip. Trying to help you. Oh, yeah, that's kind of weird. Because there's so much about this Antarctica and chipping through the ice to get down to this old ancient being and stuff like that. But really, you're chipping through the density of your programming to get down to your ancient being. So that's kind of trippy. Everything is micro, macro. It's so weird. But so everything represents everything else in different aspects of the phase. Like it's a phase in, phase out kind of thing, and everything in between, if you get what I'm saying. And because some of the things like I can see, but I don't know how to explain them. But I've talked about this a billion times, about it's like a bleed out. So everything in the micro macro. So it starts here and it bleeds out. So everything in the ink blot. If you took a piece of paper and then you put like an ink and then it spread. So everything in that spread would be the same, only playing out in different aspects. Just like how, they're chipping away at the ice to get down to the ancient beings, and we're chipping away at our own programs so we can get into our ancient beings. So anyways, it's interesting. So and I know that all the reptilians aren't bad. There's a lot that are been trying to help humans, and they have been around a long time. And just as there's, good and bad humans, even though we're not really human, but that's the thing too, is the reptilians have been playing reptilian, like an individual who would be like a reptilian. Like I like some of these beings, like I've talked about, some of these beings have been the same being for 30, 40, 50, 60,000 years, 100,000 years for our time. So there's certain beings that have been playing in the same being for a long time. But those of the human beings, they go through short cycles. And we, our core, are not human. We're all sorts of different things that are... Okay, it's like a trendy boot style comes out, and we all want these boots to take off, so we all run and get these boots and start wearing these boots. So it's kind of like that. Like there was an opportunity for the vehicle, the boot, our avatar, and so we all start coming in wearing these boots to advance them and create more opportunities for avatar and experiences. And because the human being is a pretty cool character, because it has so much abilities to learn and feel and experience. Because you get a lot out of your experience because of all the sensations and the emotions and all that stuff. So it's a pretty cool character that all the other beings have wanted to continue or advance. And so but there's other beings who have been playing those beings for a long, long time. But that doesn't mean their soul is a reptilian. Everybody's soul is energy. But when you've been being a certain being for a really long time, and then there's the other thing of being able to shift around their consciousness and shape shifting and stuff. Which I was watching a movie yesterday. I didn't pay that much attention because I was like, I'm telling you, the energy was so weird yesterday. But the last night, man, it was like going through me like waves. It was so uncomfortable. And the movie though was from 1993. Had I remember Bill Paxton, John Hurt, had Louis Goddard. What was that guy's name? Lou Goddard. I don't know. I can't think of his name. It seems like it's three names. But he was popular back. So this was in the 90s. And I wonder what happened to him. Because, yeah, that's weird. Because he was so popular for a while. But in this movie, so Bill Paxton's this redneck cop. And he has this partner. I don't remember her name. And, but there's this, it starts with this woman who, this little kid right in front of the cops. And she's saying, don't get near him, don't get near him. And so then they take the kid and back to the, morgue or whatever, and arrest the woman. And then a scientist shows up, John Hurt, and wants the body of the kid. And and this lady is a scientist too. And then they start finding out more about what they're about. I don't remember if it was definitely more about human consciousness, cloning, stuff like that. And so, but this kid, just like in Fallen, the movie I talked about, where the being can just jump from person to person. That's the same thing this thing could do. Just jump from person to person. And so it was a consciousness that was able to move from person to person. That's why the lady was like, don't get near him, don't get near him. Because especially when you're going to off him, then, so anyways, his consciousness wasn't gone like that they had thought. And then they came and moved the body, and then he jumped into another guy and took out all the guys that were there. And so it was just constant. He was like real evil kind of consciousness. But I mean, that was in the 90s. They've been showing us for a long time about this consciousness jumping. So that's a real thing. And so it's kind of, it's not quite like shape-shifting, but it's kind of, because it just goes in and becomes somebody else. But shape-shifting, I think, also is like you can keep changing what you appear to other people. So, and I think it is kind of like you kind of controlling it. Like you making yourself appear, like it's kind of like almost like you're interfering with what they perceive. So, I don't know. But that's what it kind of seems like to me. And so, so anyways, that movie was from the 90s, and they've been telling us for a long time about this. And I've been talking about it, and I said before, you could watch that movie Fallen. I can't remember what this one's, the name of it was, but I can always share it if somebody wants to see it. But anyways, that stuff's true. And there is beings out there who are old, and they've been playing the same thing, but still, if they came out of the character that they're playing, they would be energy. Like their soul is not a reptile, or your soul is it's like some souls though become where they start choosing to be like a kind of like right now we don't have the awareness of who and what we are, but in this ascension we're leveling up to the point of becoming the character we want to be. And so we are aligning ourselves with who we want to be, how we want to see ourselves, and becoming that character. And that character we're going to carry on for a long time. So we are going to be that character for a long time, which we would be considered a human or an earthling. And but we'll carry those characters for a long time. But these people, these other beings, like, like the Palladians say, are high vibrational, and it's like a whole bunch of high vibrational people or beings, and then they represent, like they represent, and if you're not in alignment with them, then you're in alignment with over here with them, and so you are represented by your vibration. So it still is that those beings all kind of look similar, like they're like the Pleiadian people are supposed to be like kind of humanoid looking, but more like light beings, more like kind of transparent, but they all kind of have a similar, like how humans kind of have a similar thing. So, and they look like humanoid kind of more. So they are, so it's like I don't know. It's like these beings from different places. Man, the bugs are starting to come back. I killed a fly the other day. I think that's a fly right there. It just stresses me out because I'm like, oh my God, those bugs are going to come and they're going to get all these spiders all over my clothes. It's like, oh man, I'm really feeling the tension of wanting my own home, of where, I have rooms and more space. This thing is just crawling down the door. You can all of a sudden fly in my face. I don't know. Oh, I think it's a spider. Motherfucking shit, man. Yes, it's a spider. Son of a bitch. Spiders are already coming. I feel like I need to open the door and set this spider back outside. He's just zooming down the thing. Oh, God dang it. Right after I've been thinking that. But spiders bring messages. But that doesn't mean I want them all in my clothes. Or in my bed. Or in my ears. This guy's got to go. I'm going to move him. Hold on a second. I gotta do it because I can't quit looking at him. Hold on. Sorry, buddy, but you've got to go. Come on there, mister. Back to where you once came from. I think he's gone. Like hell to no. So, anyways, I put him back outside. Like it's so cold out there too. Sorry. God, it's just gonna be so. I really want. I keep trying to just give myself a thing about like, well, no matter what, no matter where your clothes are, you can still get spiders in them. I just keep thinking like, oh my God, there's so many spiders out there. There's gonna be so many spiders in my clothes. Damn it. So, I was even thinking this morning while I was laying there, I was thinking, I wonder if I just change, but where would I sleep? I can't just bring all my clothes in here. It's just like, I just need more rooms. I need my own home. I need a bigger house. It's like, I need a bigger boat. I need a bigger house. So, yeah, if I had a camper, what would I do then? Because I wouldn't be able to have all my clothes. I don't know. It's frustrating. This world is frustrating. So, anyways, so the different beings in different places, it's kind of like, I don't really know. It's like the vibration creates an appearance or something, because no matter what, all the different beings, they're all energy. Everything is energy. So no matter if they're Lyrian, reptilian, Pleiadian, blue avian, Draco, human, all the different things, inside our energy. And so, I don't know, how it is that, but this place is going to kind of be like a mix master, where it's going to be all different beings at this vibration. So when we get more higher vibration, not at this one, we're still in the purge, but so we'll be more mixed with a bunch of different ones. But that's the thing, is no matter what anybody looks like on the outside, you got to remember what they are on the inside, because we're all the same on the inside. But not exactly the same, because it's all due to vibration, but we are all of the same. And so even if somebody you think is lower vibration than you still would give them the care or concern of knowing that they are the same as you and that they are on their own journey. So even if they aren't, it's your same vibration, they're still becoming. We're all becoming. So it's not where, we would be like, well, they're low vibration, we're different than them, we're better than them. It's not like that. And so it's just kind of an acknowledgement. We're all the same, and we're all at different points of view, different points of perspective. But no matter how many different beings we start hanging out with, and you think, oh, they look this way, they look that way. Well, that's not what their soul looks like. Their soul looks like energy, just like ours. And so, but there is advanced souls that can represent themselves to look however they want. There is souls that are advanced enough that can jump around and go into other conscious or other beings. And that's the thing too, is you gotta have dominion over your domain, over your vehicle. Like, I don't know why it would be going into these ones unless that was part of their duty, part of their, like, they come from the same kind of place as the other reptilians, and so they came in and opened their vehicle up to allow other ones to come. I don't know, because a lot of times you think, well, that they would be more of a open vessel because they don't have dominion over their domain. Like, they allow other ones to enter. So, and other ones can enter. And I think that's even where they come up with, like, the concept of possession. So, anyways, but we are going to be interacting with a bunch of different ones. And that guy was saying between 2026 and 2030, which it's already starting to open those doors. And so to open the information to start coming to us. Like, right now it seems like it's just being a drama. Like, Donald's like, we're going to release this. And then all of a sudden they start scurrying around hiding it. Which I saw a thing that they were saying, and I don't know if this is true, because there's always people putting out stuff, but it was supposed to be like a JAG newspaper, like a military newspaper, and it was giving the lowdown on all the different people who have, a lot of them, they were, didn't meet the squad, they met the news. And it's weird, because on Twitter, when I got kicked off of that, that's what I was looking for, an old-fashioned squad. And I was going to put that because I was putting on all these different politicians who I knew were committing acts of treason, and saying stuff like, do you know the penalty for what you're doing? And then putting like little gifts. But I couldn't find that. All I could find was an NOOSE. And so I put that, and that's how the Secret Service comes showing up at my house and getting me off of Twitter, which, even though it's X now, X won't let me back on either. So I'm banned from Twitter forever. But in this JAG paper, it was saying, Yeah, a lot of them. That was their exit, was a rope. So it wasn't a squad. So, anyways, I don't know. But there was a lot of people that were saying, this one's gone, this one's gone, this one's gone, this one's gone. And Nancy was in there. Definitely Michael and Barack. Definitely the like this drama with them. Oh my God, it is so ridiculous. Oh well, we only knew him before he ever did anything, and until she never even knew him at all. It's like, oh really? Because you got all sorts of pictures where it looks like you're awfully damn close, playing around with him and stuff. And then there was even a quote from Jeffrey saying about, oh, she's so much prettier in person. So, anyways, it's just they're big fat liars, but it's all part of the show. So I don't know, because it really, when you go into the comments of some of these, people totally believe them. They think Donald is crazy, like that he's just being mean to them and stuff, and he's trying to hide behind them, like he's trying to distract all of this bad stuff he did, where it's already come out. I don't remember what the release was. If it was in a newspaper, an article, if it was lawyers, something. It released a thing, and it was Donald was the informant. Donald was the one who brought this information to us. Like, we didn't even know about this until he brought it to us. So he was the one who was very much a part of taking them all down. So, but anyways, these people don't see what they don't see. And that's the bad thing about when you get stuck listening to one perspective's information, because they're misleading you purposely. And I guess this, after the State of the Union, caused a big, huge wave again of, what's the hashtag? Walk away. So a huge amount of those liberal, progressives, then they are walking away from the party. And it's like the party, as I walked away from a long time ago, but they're not going to have anybody left. Like, everybody's leaving because they are, they've made it clear that they don't care about us. And all of the lies and stuff. I saw this guy who was doing this breakdown, like he'd been investigating about Mustache Man. Well, what he has found is the guy that they called that name. So his name wasn't the guy who they showed us. It was really, when you go in and you read old newspapers and they give a description, it was a guy from Egypt. It was a dark guy. And so, and he was fighting something about, I don't know. Yeah, I think it was something about the genetic kind of, there's been weird stuff going on for a long time with these scientists and stuff. So I'm not really sure what all. I mean, everything has been a lie. And we know that that was a really big lie, because it had to be the story that the people with the blue star needed to be the underdog. And so they had to have the illusion that people were out to get him. And how dare us, anybody, you can't be anti, for God's sakes. So it was all a creation of a story. So I don't know. I just saw the first part. He said it's a 4-part series that he's doing. He was showing the newspaper article, showing the description. And he said, this guy over here, he's an actor. It's like, and he said, it says right in this article thing that there was no, and I'm not sure if this was some other kind of thing, because this said there was no cameras, that this guy did not allow cameras following him around. So where we see all this footage of these, marching and all this stuff, that, no, that they said that was, it was like, studio created film kind of thing. So I don't know. This whole world has been such a whirlwind of lies. It's absurd. It's like you can't get too caught up in any of these storylines. You just gotta just let them go, because they're all absurd. It's all just ridiculous in how much that they have put in the effort to control us and control our minds and create this weird world. And which this whole thing with Jim Carrey, this is wacky. And it is almost like, because they've had, like, people have been really focused on them changing these people out, but it seems the Jim Carrey one has caused a tsunami. And there's, like, I can't even believe how many videos, person after person after person, talking about this and giving what they think is going on. And some people are getting really upset about it, like, which I think, that's a part of the whole thing, is to create these gullible people who will bully the other people to not pay attention. Don't question anything. It's totally normal. Just shut up, because they're getting so upset about it. And somebody said something to me, and I said, well, this is what they rely on, gullible people to bully the rest of us. It's like, shut up. I didn't say that part, but anyways, it's like, when they're sitting there telling you, like, oh, it's totally normal. It's not normal. There's nothing normal going on here. And so on him, this whole big thing about him going to this award show, and then plus he also had given some, wasn't Coldplay, I don't think, it was some band, I can't remember the name of the band, but he was the one who was giving them their Hall of Fame award, which is kind of weird. Why wouldn't they have a musician? Why would they have a comedic actor be the one who's going to give them their award? It seems kind of odd. But everything that Hollywood does is odd. And so, and they were saying before, I had heard before that he didn't want to go to that, and that he had said, can he do it on TV? He didn't want to come to the show. And then they said, no, we need you to be there. And so then this guy shows up that doesn't look like Jim Carrey. And so and then people start saying, oh, well, he's just getting older. Well, his hair's receding. Well, he's gotten surgery on his face. He's gotten fillers. He's gotten a facelift. He's gotten a bleph, gotten the skin removed from his eyes and all this stuff. So all these people just are very comfortable saying all that, oh, don't be mean. He's just gotten a lot of work done. It's like, well, that guy, Brown-Eyed Jim, would not get a bunch of work done. So that doesn't align with who he is. I mean, it's not even the character, because the character has become its own entity. And he even had talked about that. Like, he had said, I'm not Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey is a character I created. It's just, it was not intentional, but it was somebody, or less intentional or something. And because he has been out there awake and talking about stuff for well over 10 years. I think he's been out there for like 15 years or something, talking about spirituality and trying to get people to look at things in a different perspective, I guess is what I would say. And where people start saying, oh, he's lost it, he's crazy and stuff like that. And so, oh, girl. So he's been in spirituality for a long time, and not fake spirituality. And that's the thing, is like, so would you think a monk would run out and go get a bunch of face surgery? No. Because when you're really in spirituality, the whole thing is about accepting yourself, accepting where you are, accepting yourself, loving yourself, learning about yourself, being comfortable being you, being comfortable where you're at in the world, all those things. That's what it's about. And so he wouldn't all of a sudden change his whole thing. And then even going up to these award shows, which he was not into award shows at all. He And even when he would have the opportunity to be in one, like give an award or get an award, he would make a statement and try and use that as an opportunity to, make clarity on something. And I mean, he's been political about things. He's been more esoteric about things, and but with all of this crazy stuff going on, and he wouldn't be saying anything about it. He wouldn't be making a statement. And even in those last, where it seems, the last of the brown-eyed Jim, that he was, he has a totally different personality than this different guy that's coming out. It's like this guy is playing Jim Carrey, and Jim Carrey stopped being Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey started becoming a different version of himself, just like how I've said, the old version of myself, she's dead and gone. She left. And you arise into the new version of yourself. So you hatch out the new version of you, and the old version is, arrivederci. And you have to love that version of yourself. You have to learn to be kind to that version of yourself. But nevertheless, that version of you is gone. And so you could see him changing over some of the time. He was becoming a more calmer sometimes, more thoughtful and mindful, not so silly or whatever, So, not that he wasn't silly, because he was still being silly on some of those talk shows and stuff. But another thing too, so his eyes were brown before, and now this new character that's come out, that's all into fame, all into awards, all into talking with media, all like a whole different personality. So you're telling me like he's gone through all this spiritual growth, where he said, even when he had said he was going to retire, and then he came out and started doing the Sonics. But I think he was doing the Sonics because he really wanted the chance to do something that was going to be, what is it? It's like a bigger thing. Like they make toys and games, and if you do your contract right, I think you get part of that money. So you get, it's a bigger thing than just being in a regular movie, in a franchise or something movie. So, and he had said that he enjoyed being at home and doing his spiritual life. It's what he liked to do. He liked to be at home being spiritual and focusing on that and being meditating and stuff, which also he had said before he was against drinking, drugs, and all that stuff. So why would he start putting them into his no, it doesn't align with who he was. So you're saying he went through all that and then suddenly just like, I don't care anymore. I just want to be wild and crazy again, and I'm going to go up. No, that doesn't, no. Because he was really spiritual. He wasn't pretending to be spiritual. And he was deep. And so Brown-Eyed Jim was a totally different character than this new one. So Blue-Eyed Jim is a new figure. It's like that they decided, well, we're going to keep the Jim Carrey character alive. And it was like he said, okay, you can have that character, but I'm going to go play somebody else. I'm going to go find myself, take the character, just leave me out of it. And so they created the new Jim, and then took him back into the direction of distraction, of being silly, distracting us all the time. And he had said that he had noticed that. He had realized that was what was going on. And that's back when he was talking and saying all things. Now there's tons of people that think like, well, they've done him in. They've taken him and killed him, and because of what he said on Kimmel and stuff, and now they've replaced him, and this guy's a clone. To me, he looks like a guy in a mask. Like, it looks weird around his eyes. It looks weird around his mouth. Somebody was even saying that somebody was motioning him, that something was like coming loose. People were saying he's got all this makeup on. People were saying it looks like a prosthetic on his nose. So there's a whole bunch of stuff. So I don't know. And I don't know if it's a part of, us realizing, because it's creating such a tsunami of people paying attention, that if it isn't part of the disclosure of Hollywood, in the Hollywood world, or if he really is like trying to just, disappear away from the character. And they he's money making character, so they want to keep that character going. But this guy is no way on his same level. It's like a what is that called when somebody pretends to be somebody? You can go to a concert and go to a show, and I can't think of the word. I've been taking iodine, and it's weird. The iodine is weird. And you just do a couple of drops, but it's supposed to really do a lot of stuff. It's supposed to get a lot of stuff out of you, and it's supposed to help your body start functioning better. So I don't know, but I keep tasting it, and I just feel weird. I feel weird though, and who knows what the hell it is. But anyways, so the Blue Eye Gym, which this was another thing I saw somebody say on a video, that she saw the thing, because everybody was seeing this clip that they were showing. It's like, why? I mean, it's weird that they're even showing this so much. And so everybody was seeing him at this award show. And which another thing about it is that he went up and made this big thing about he was going to speak French to these French people, because it was a French award ceremony. And that he had to try and learn his speech in French, and then he was saying more stuff. But I looked on the thing. His dad was French Canadian. I was like, I think, he grew up in Canada, and his dad was French Canadian. I would imagine he had probably knew some French before. I don't know. Because when I was trying to look it up, because I was thinking, I bet you it wouldn't surprise me at all if he was bilingual. And but now they're making like this whole thing like, oh, look, he learned French to go in and do this ceremony, this award thing. And this character is so strange. But anyway, so this girl was saying that she started noticing his eyes. Tons of people were noticing the eyes. And she was like, he used to have brown eyes. So she started looking through the pictures and found, like, no, he used to have brown eyes. And then, so she went and she Googled it, and it said, yeah, he had brown eyes. Man, I am feeling weird. I'm not going to do that iodine anymore. I'm feeling like weird. And then I don't even know if that's what it is, but I can just taste it. So, so anyways, you only do a couple drops. Like that's the thing. You only do a couple drops. And I don't even remember. I feel weird. She said she went and looked it up, and it said that he had brown eyes. So then she was telling her friend, look, this guy's blue eyes, and it says right here he has brown eyes. And that person went and looked up, and it says blue-gray eyes. And then they sent it to her. And she's like, oh, my God. And so she went and she looked, and they said they took it away now. It doesn't say he has brown eyes. Now it says he has blue-gray eyes. So they're like switching him into this new character. And so that was weird, which I don't know if you go in and Google it now, what color his eyes are going to say his eyes are. But there's so many different weird things. And so when I was trying to see, like, I would think he would know French a bit, being Canadian. And and then when I saw his dad was French Canadian, I was like, you'd think his dad would be speaking some in French. I don't know. I know there's people who come from Mexican American families, and the parents don't ever speak Spanish, so I don't know, but it just seems odd. And so then when you start thinking, okay, well, that's not him, but they're showing that he's with his daughter and his grandson, which his grandson looked pretty tall. Like, I was thinking, isn't his grandson like 12? But it says he's 14. But Jim, brown-eyed Jim, is supposed to be 6'2". This guy, I don't know how tall he is, but the grandson is like, was as taller, a little bit taller than him standing at this place. He's getting pictures at this award ceremony thing. And his daughter was there, but it could be somebody who just looks like his daughter that went. Or then I was like, man, would they pay his kids? Like his kid and his grandkid would know that's not him. So how do they get them to go? Are those stand-ins? And or they pay him to go, and they get paid extra to go and be, his escorts or something to make it look viable. And then I don't know, are they, because then I start looking at that. So then I'm just trying to see, like, how old is this kid supposed to be? And who does he look like? And so then I looked up who Jane was married to, and she was married to somebody, what was that? Santana? I don't know. I think a musician. And I was thinking, okay, well, the kid Jackson looks kind of like the dad. And then it kept saying Jim has 3 grandkids. I was like, well, he's got 1 daughter. Where are the other grandkids? And then when you look on Jane's thing now, it says that she has 1 uncle. Well, Jim was the youngest of 4. He has 2 sisters and 1 brother. His brother died recently. I'm pretty sure the same thing as my brother has. I'm pretty sure he had brain cancer. And then his sister, the one that was the musician who was the DJ, she died. I think time is so weird, but maybe like 2 years ago. And then he has 1 sister who still is surviving. So him and his 1 sister. And so Rita was the one who died. And then I don't know his brother's name. And then I don't know his other sister's name. But Rita was out, in celebrity world too. Like, she was a DJ and a musician and stuff like that. And so she was out a lot, like on Twitter and stuff like that when I was on there. And so then in Jane's little bio thing, and it says who her family is, it just has the 1 uncle. It just says 1 guy's name and says her uncle. So they're leaving out now. All of a sudden, she doesn't have any sibling, or the new Jim doesn't have sisters. And then it says who she was married to, just this 1 guy. Then when you go into these new articles that say she has 2 new kids with her new husband, and you can't find anything on this new husband. And even when you try and see any pictures of her and her new husband, there is nothing. Only picture, there's 1 picture of her and her first husband, which also she got divorced from him when they were like their first year of marriage or something. And she was like pregnant, I think, or just had the baby. So she just had Jackson or was pregnant. And so, Jim was around, I guess, a lot then, because there's pictures of him holding the baby. So he would have that baby, and I think he was with Jenny McCarthy, because he would have another kid around at the time. So I think that was Jenny's kid. So he would have his grandson and then this other kid that he would be hanging out with. And there's pictures of that. And so, but now there's nothing about Jane and her new husband. And then so I think they said that her new kids are either 2 and 4 or 2 and 6 or something. And so then I'm like, he was somebody who would talk about his daughter and talk about his grandson all the time. And like was proud of his family and would talk about them. And so you're telling me through all of those interviews, all during Sonic, he never ever mentions that his daughter got remarried and has got 2 new grandkids. That does not seem at all like that fits into his personality. And so that seems absurd. that, and then when you go in and you look, you cannot find any pictures. No pictures. None of him holding the babies. Nothing. And then also the another thing too is, so at this award ceremony, Jane is, she's not, OZ thin, but she's thin. And so you're telling me that she's had both these kids and now she's just as skinny again? Because people who I know who have had kids in their later 30s, they have, it's harder to lose weight. And so, but obviously, didn't affect her. And then, she's not coming with her other kids. She's just bringing her one son to this award thing. And then you could think, well, they're pretty young to go. And they're at home with the husband. Maybe the husband's very private. Maybe he doesn't want their kids to be shown. Maybe he doesn't want their wedding to be shown. But still, why wouldn't Jim ever mention when he's being in all these interviews of, yeah, well, I've got some new grandkids now. I'm just being a grandpa, just doing grandpa stuff and stuff like that. No. And so it seems like they're just rewriting the Jim that we knew. The Jim that we had, the brown-eyed Jim, they're just rewriting this new Jim. And so I don't know what the deal is with this Jane Jackson. I don't know if these are actors playing them and if they all, as a family, left, or I don't even know. Some people were even saying it's some kind of a psyop of tricking us, because he's having his stand-in come in so he doesn't have to go out, his body double or something. So I have no idea. But definitely, why wouldn't the guy put in brown contacts at least? If they're going to really try and sell us on this, that Jim just gave up on his spirituality and just decided to go in and get facelifts and stuff put into his face so he can look young again. So now he can date this, I don't even know, this 30-year-old girl or something. So, I don't know. It just seems really odd. The whole thing seems odd, and it seems like they're just rewriting a person's life right in front of us. And so, and I don't, like I said, I don't know if this is a part of the disclosure, a part of like the disclosure of what Hollywood does. And it seems kind of weird because I was thinking, I don't think like there was a lot of, like, Natalie Wood was big money, and when she died, they didn't bring in a fake one. Paul Newman, there was been so many, Betty Davis, Joan Crawford, like all these older actors and actresses, like they had a little bit more freedom to just live. They may have had weird stuff for their job and expectations and stuff, but they weren't just like signing their life away to these people. And so I don't know, it's very odd. Especially that really got me when they were saying now he's got 3 grandkids, and she's remarried, and he wouldn't even mention any of that, because during all of that time he was doing Sonic, and they did like a Sonic each year or something. Each year he was out doing those press things, going on all those interviews and stuff, and not all of them were like really little quick things. There was like shows where he'd have to go on and talk, and so yeah, it's very odd that he wouldn't mention any of that stuff. And then plus that they have her down as that she only has one uncle, and her uncle is deceased. I mean, she has one living aunt and her other aunt's deceased. I don't know. I don't even know. It's really strange when you start going and looking into some of this stuff. And you just start seeing all this like, what? What are they doing? Why are they saying this? And then plus just, I feel like if the people really were paying attention, I don't know if I was paying more attention because he was talking so much about spirituality, and I'm interested in listening to people when they're talking about spirituality. And so that I was aware of how spiritual he was, and for them to just discount that and act like that he would just suddenly, get to this point in his life and suddenly just throw it all out the door, to me is like the same thing as like, you're going down and some monk is all decided like, no, I'm over God. I'm just going to go on and have a good time down here. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. And because he was way beyond that. And then besides, he would definitely at these award shows, he would be making a statement. He's always was making statements about stuff. So yeah, just the whole thing seems really odd, and I'm not even quite sure, what the whole thing is about. A lot of this stuff is you just got to watch and see. But they're obviously going all in on this blue-eyed Jim, because even he made a statement yesterday and said, well, everybody online is just going crazy trying to say it's not me, but it is me. And this whole thing, it's like, it's just so weird. This whole thing is so weird. And are they trying to make him look younger because then they can keep him in the movies longer and keep making money off of him? So I don't know. That's the thing, is that they just use people, and that's their whole thing too, is once they have a personality that they can that has a following, and when you see how the people who are freaking out about him, then you see like how loved he is by so many people. He has a huge following, a huge amount of support, and so when you see that much, that's what they want. That's what they want to keep a hold of, is these people. But they've already turned, these people are all turning against it, because they're like, that's not him. That's not him. I don't know what you guys are trying to pull on us, but that's not the guy who we know. That's not Ace Ventura. That's not Dumb and Dumber. That's not Truman. That's like, all the people are just like going through the whole thing. So yeah, I have no idea what they're trying to pull on this one. And so we have that whole huge drama going, which we'll see how it plays out. Hopefully it is like some kind of a psyop or a show or performance, so that we can start seeing what Hollywood does. Hopefully that is what it's about. Hopefully they really didn't do him in and just replaced him with blue-eyed Jim. So I don't know. He looks weird though. He doesn't look like, it doesn't look like him, but he looks weird with the light eyes, and then the way his skin's so stretched. Like Jim, the brown-eyed Jim, had so much character in his face, and so, and then plus the new Jim can't do all the expressions. But if it's a mask, then people are like, well, it's because of all of that stuff. He can't move his face so well. But then people are like, there's no way. His face is his money. His face is his whole thing. So he wouldn't interfere with that. And, which I think that's true too. But also I think it was a mask. It looks like a mask to me. So I don't know. I don't think it's, and then some people are like, well, is this the one who was playing Joe? But I swear to God, it seems like that it, because he was being around like the last Sonic. He looked like his regular self. And there's even a picture of him with Jackson, which it looks similar. The kid looks is pretty much the same, only he looks smaller. But it's easy to find lookalikes too. So fuck if I know. And then but he looked normal when he was doing Sonic. Then he looked normal. Seems like there was something after that. Something. Seems like he was out on the world stage for something else after Sonic. And then, but he looked like his regular self. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, they want him to do this Hall of Fame rock, hard, whatever, this Hall of Fame rock thing, award show. And then, and that's when this other one came out. And then they made this whole big thing about Taylor Momsen, the girl who was in The Grinch with him. And they're reuniting there, which I would think, like, I mean, maybe she hadn't seen him since she was little, so it was easy to trick her or something. But that's the thing I was saying all the time about the Joe. He's like, how do all these people keep interacting with them who say they know him and they can't tell the difference? Like if there was somebody who you knew really well and you were around them a lot of times and all of a sudden they changed him out and put a different person, I would think you would recognize, like, that's not the same person. Either you'd pick up on their vibe or there would be some kind of personality traits that were different. They would look different. Because that was the thing too with Joe. There was the brown-eyed Joe and the blue-eyed Joe. And so the people who would interact with the new Joe and then act like it was the old Joe and be like, are they trying to fuck with us? Like, especially when a lot of these the reporters and stuff, it's like they can't tell. You tell me they can't tell the difference? And I just saw whatever that guy is who does all of the Bravo, all of those reality shows. He goes and talks to him. I can't think of his name. He's kind of eccentric or something. But I just saw him talking to the new Martha Stewart. And I'm just like, I would think like some of these people would be like, wait a minute, this isn't the right person. Well, if you want to get this interview, you're going to just treat them like they are the right person. And now they got that new Demi Moore who's out and about, and now she's cut all her hair off. And they said that she had cut it some too, because it was like down to her butt. So one day you see it's like down to her butt, and she did this show, which, you know, you'd think that could have been a wig or something. But I think her hair was like more up to here, but now it's more like this length, and which I, you know, cut mine was almost to my butt, and I cut it all the way up. So you know, tons of people are. It's like a trend, but so, you know, I mean, but so the thing about her is, even when she still had the long hair and stuff, she was still, it looked like somebody new came out. And I know that Demi Moore got a lot of surgery, because even before Charlie's Angels, I think she got like $150,000 worth of plastic surgery or something before that show, or that movie. And it was like her big comeback or something. And then she was in some shows and she was looking older, you know, and then not ancient or anything, but she, you know, she's looking older. And then all of a sudden this new revised one came out to like go to some gala or something. And I just don't think you can get plastic surgery to change your face that much. And then plus a lot of these ones where they're saying, well, they had plastic surgery, but they didn't ever go through any of that thing where their face looks really weird. They just come out all of a sudden looking like a totally different person. And when that happened on her, which was a few years back, because I said, I wonder if she just was feeling like, well, I don't feel like I look that good today, so I'm just going to send in my body double. She can go as me, and then everybody will think I look really good. And or not even just the body double, but maybe her stand-in, I don't know, somebody who looks like her. And they could have access to their own clones too. And so she's like, well, I'll just send in this one because I don't want to go. And so that's what I thought with her. And then this girl all of a sudden took over and is always there. You never see the original Demi anymore. It's always this girl, whoever the hell this girl is. And it's weird too, because they kind of do their voices. The Jim Carrey one and the Demi Moore one kind of do their voices similar to the original people, but it just something doesn't sound the same. And so now the Demi Moore one, she went to, so there was what was it? It was Gucci or some big fashion show thing where all these celebrities went to this fashion show thing, which it had, what's her name from the 90s, walked the runway. And she walked like she couldn't walk very well. She was walking like each step was a challenge. And then the dress, I swear to God, what are they trying to market us to wear Fredericks of Hollywood? Like, what in the world? Like, this is supposed to be this fancy, sophisticated dress, and it goes all the way down to where it looks like your butt crack is showing, and then it has a G string coming out of it, and it's like, what in the tacky clothes are they putting out here? It looks totally inspiration of Fredericks of Hollywood, which back in the day that used to be like a joke, man, of like, who would dress like that? Well, girls who want to make money. And so it's like, I don't know. So this whole fashion show thing, but it has all these different celebrities going to it. And so it showed Demi going to it. And so now she's thinner. She's like, it said that she's 50 grams or something. And so she's, I don't know, like 100 pounds. She looks so freaking skinny. And then what's even stranger is that she wants to accentuate how skinny she looks. So she puts on these clothes that really are so tight. Like she has this leather shirt or leather jacket and pants, and they're skin tight, which people were saying that she looks like the girl from The Matrix. And she did. She even had the sunglasses on and the short black hair. And then this tight black leather outfit, which is odd, that she's coming out, during this period of time looking like she's off The Matrix. And so she's carrying this little puny dog, like one of those 3 or 4 pound dogs. And it looks kind of older, so it's got a little tongue. It looks like a little, and so it's her baby, I guess, because she takes it on all these interviews with her. It's like this dog's with her all the time. So I saw a thing saying that she had something happen. I think it was during The Substance, supposedly, when she was filming that. Which all the people are on all these different ones. The gym, the one that didn't, all of them are like, they've all got the substance. Because that's what the movie's about. And so somebody was saying in the comments, maybe she needs to go watch The Substance. And it's like, she was the star of it. Like, she was in it. So supposedly it was so grueling that she couldn't handle it. So she had to have a emotional support animal. So, which this dog looks like it's like 15. Doesn't look like what in The Substance just out like a few years ago. And so anyways, but that caused her to lose a lot of weight, and it caused her to need to have this security blanket animal with her because she's got so much anxiety now. She's so stressed and so anxious. It's like, well, it's weird too, because the original Demi was more into like holistic, or I think she was more into meditation and stuff. And so now all of a sudden she's just like, she's fed into her anxiety. She can't control it. And so she has to have this little puny dog with her. And so she's lost so much weight she can't walk very well with it. That's what I was noticing too in the thing. Which, another thing I noticed, and I said in the thing, I said, how do you lose that much weight and still your boobs don't get smaller? Because she kept saying she didn't have a boob job. She didn't have any surgeries. And so she's got these big boobs, but her body is like frail looking. And they're saying that she is lost so much weight that she is frail, and she is her anxiety and stuff, and so she doesn't have good balance anymore. Which a part of the OZ is it robs you of your minerals of your body. So if the people are taking, because if they've got them all strung out on that shit or something, because they're all so frail looking now. And so she's walking in looking like the Matrix lady, carrying this puny ass dog in her purse, and it's like she can't barely walk, just like, what's her name, who was walking the runway? What is her name? She used to be a model a long time ago in the 90s. She was heroin chic. Kate Moss. I think her name is Kate Moss. And so she was walking the runway at this show. And she was walking the same kind of like, oh, I can't walk very well. But so Demi Moore is walking, and they're like got a whole entourage. And she can't seem to be walking. It's like, does she need an ambulatory device? Like, what is happening here? And she's trying, and it says in this other thing, like, she's using the dog to try and balance her. It's like, she looks like she had fall and kill that dog. Like, I don't care how skinny she is. You fall on a dog that weighs like 2 pounds, you're going to kill it. And then so as she's walking, this guy comes up and starts trying to like help her. I don't know if it's her date or what, but she was I mean, it was weird. She's walking like, she's 150 years old or something. And so I really don't know if it has to deal with this skinniness. I don't know if her clone is more anxious, or her stand-in now is falling apart. Like, I don't know what the hell is going on. But yeah, she looks like she's about to fall over. She can't walk, and she needs assistance. And then her dog's supposed to be helping her. It's like, it is so, I'm telling you, this stuff is so absurd. It's so bizarre. We are living in the most weird, bizarre time. It was the most absurd stuff. And then there's people who are just riding it in. Like, they're just on board. Whatever, I'm on board for it. It's like, maybe you better just step back and start questioning things. Because all this stuff doesn't make any sense. It's all weird as hell. And so, and now we got big WW3 going today. So who knows how that's going to play out. If they're going to do the EBS, if we're going to go, the grid's going to go down, what drama's going to go, hopefully it does stuff with the money. Because that's a big part of the whole thing with the Iran plays a big part in it because of the petrol dollar or something. I don't know. So, but there has been resistance because the regime has been resisting. People have been out there fighting them in the streets. They're being taken out one by one out there, and they're fighting. Because that's what if it comes to your street, if they come after you, you fight back. But we don't go after them, but because then we're in the trap and we're staying in their little world. So we don't want to think that that's the solution. But if somebody is trying to hurt you, then, don't just surrender, fight back. And so the people have been fighting back. We got it also going in the CUBA. They're fighting back. Then I don't know what's happening at this point. But all these different places, this is the Mexico, all of these places, it's to take down the regime, because even in Mexico, that's become crystal clear. The government, it's been the CARTEL, it was running this place. They've been running all over, all these different places, because they're all a big, huge organization. And so it doesn't matter what title, what name they go through at different places. It's all being run by the puppet masters above. So they're all the extension of a control factor. So they're all being broken down in all these different places. But, we still have ours to go through. So who knows how it's all going to play out. You definitely have these people who are just so sure, Donald's the enemy, he's screwing us all over, he's all this stuff. It's like, boy, it's got to be a scary place to be stuck in that reality, because that's not even what's happening. So, I've been talking a long time again. Boy, I'm a rattler, huh? I'm just rattle. Just got a lot to say, talking about crazy stuff. So anyways, this stuff is crazy. Don't get all caught up in it. Don't become gullible. Don't become one of the gullible people and telling people, it's totally normal. God, you just make too much of everything. Oh, here's my girl. Look at this face. Let's see. Where is she? There she is. There's my beautiful girl. I love you, lady. Oh, it's so funny because she doesn't. Oh, you look? Oh, you baby girl. Because Ruthie, she'll go up to mirrors and try and look and find me in the mirror. She's so funny. All the dogs have their own personalities. Oh, sweetie, I love you so much. So, anyways, we're going to go make some toast. And, but no matter, all this stuff that's going on, it just all is part of this weird show of showing us that we've been living in a fake ass world. Fake ass world full of phony ass bullshit. So it's all just fake and weird, and people just still hold on to it. Oh, this is our life. It's like, well, the best thing to do is just keep letting go. Just watch the show. That's what they mean about get your popcorn and watch the show, because it's a big old fucking exploitive weirdo show. And but everything happening, how you're affected by things, is to assist you in your focus of healing yourself, because this is what you are to do, is to revise the version of you, become who you want to be, and move forward as that representative, that representation of yourself, you, the authentic you. In this, they have to tear it all down so you can find yourself, apparently. So anyways, but learn how to love yourself, learn how to love everybody else, learn how to have the day you want to have is what is the primo stuff. That's what you got to really focus your energy on, and don't get all caught up in all these dramas, because it's ridiculous. Oh my gosh, I can see this. It's ridiculous out there. Lady, look at you. She's always looking at me like this side eye. Okay, we're going to go make toast. So anyways, we'll see what happens today with our WW3, our dramas, all this weird stuff. And then we'll talk about it tomorrow. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.